Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to Developer Sync on Monday, the 6th of July, 2026. I'm Jim, I'm the head of ecosystem at Autonomys, and we're joined by Emil and Ved today. Okay, I'm going to launch straight into it. So community updates. So first up, Guardians of Growth. So those who are not familiar, it is our boosted staking program, which is something we set up coming up on a year ago now to bootstrap the staking ecosystem. So one of the things that we did shortly after launch was we set up 2 new operators for decentralization, different providers, different geolocations, and the foundation actually staked against those 1 million AI3, 500,000 AI3 on both operators 2 and 3, zero base, so we have 0, 1, 2, and 3. That was a measure to get them stood up so that they'd start being able to produce bundles immediately, so they didn't start at 0 stake. So this was all explained at the time. If you look down below today, I'm very prepared. There's some links down there, including a link to the Guardians of Growth program and the most recent update. So the staking there resulted in around 100,000 AI3 being earned. And as we promised back then, those earnings have been recycled back into the Guardians of Growth vault and are going to be distributed as part of the program. So once we'd done that, we were waiting to do that so that we could end up with our final figure and do our final accounting, which has now been done. And that has then in turn allowed us to calculate an updated operator rewards distributor tip, so to kind of make sure that we empty the vault towards the or at the end of the program. So operator rewards distributor is this little program that's running that is sending tips to operators. That is basically where the boosted rewards are coming from. And the tip has been updated from 12,600 AI3 per day to 20,500 AI3 per day. So quite a substantial increase, not quite double, but it's increased by 8,000 AI3 per day. And of course, if you look down below, you'll see there's the staking portal where you can check out the impact that that's had on the staking APY. In addition, the vault was migrated. So the Guardians of Growth vault, we wanted to, for transparency and just to kind of keep things all nice and neat, we transferred the 5 million AI3, which formed the commitment from the foundation, into a specific account. That vault was on consensus. It's now been migrated to Auto EVM as part of the foundation's ongoing custody plans. This is mainly an admin change, but we do strive for transparency. Again, there's some links down below if you want to check out the wallets I'm talking about there. And then finally on Guardians of Growth, to help people who want to stake, we have refreshed the staking guide in the official docs. So docs.autonomous.xyz, there is a new staking guide there based on the staking portal. The original version is still there. It was based on Substrate, was a little bit clunky. It's not the friendliest of interfaces, so we've removed friction for anyone who does want to stake. Again, there is a quite a substantial update on the forum, which is linked down below. We lost Ved momentarily. Let's bring him back up. There we go. So yeah, number one on the list today, community updates, is Guardians of Growth. The second thing that I wanted to touch on is that stakeholder allocations have or are being locked up on chain. So the tokens will unlock as per the published schedule. If you take a look on the Subspace Foundation website under the AO3 token page, you can see the unlock schedule. But this is significant because the tokens are now locked up in the Hedgie contracts on chain, and anyone who wants to can inspect them on the Auto EVM. You can go to our Block Scout instance and you can check out all the transactions that have been going on there to lock them up. If you are a stakeholder and you're watching this, you should have received emails from the foundation. So if you haven't, please let us know. Please let me know. I'm Jim at autonomous.xyz. Come and find me in Discord. Come and ping me on the forum. However you want to get in touch, but you should have been contacted by now. And that's it. I think that is everything from the community today. So I'm going to hand over to Emil, who's going to give us some updates on Autodrive, I think, amongst other things.
Yeah. Hey everyone, and it's good to be here on Developer Sync again. First, I'm gonna start with a new page which is available on Developer Docs, and for that, I'm just gonna take over the screen share for a brief moment. And this page is specifically designed to cover the agentic memory use cases. So it's, of course, this page is available at our developer hub, as I mentioned, at developer.autonomous.xyz. And this section is called agentic memory. So on this page is basically an overview of all the available skills. As if you're following the project closely, you know that it's been a while since we've started supporting OpenClaw agent, and we had skills available for the OpenClaw agents. So this skill can easily be installed and used for the agents to store its memories on Autodrive. We now have a Hermes skills, which Jim is gonna touch on this a little bit later on the call. But this page is basically tailored to agentic memory. It describes why agents might want to store its memories on Autonomous DSN. It explains the concepts of memory chains or the linked list of CIDs, and that's how the memories are built on a drive. And also goes a bit onto the response skill that we also have. So basically, it's if you want to learn more about the agentic memories and how it all can tie together on the Autonomous DSN, this is the page for you. And of course, we also have a quick start CLI guide. So if for those who are using CLI, using kind of terminal to run their agents, it's a step-by-step tutorial on how to, how to install the skills and how to make your agent store its memories on the Autonomous DSN. Then secondly, I'll switch gears and talk about some of the Autodrive updates and changes that we've made since our last developer sync. First change is around the purchasing credits. So the purchase flow was opened up so that now all users can access the Autodrive storage pricing screen that you see in front of you. Previously, you had to sign in or sign up with the Google account before you can even see the prices. And now the pricing is fully exposed. Users don't have to commit to storage or sign in just to see what it costs. This is another step in improving transparency around Autodrive storage pricing. Unlike most of Web3 projects, our pricing is clear right from the start. We do still have the Google account gate at the purchase stage. So for instance, if you were to commit, let's say 1 GB of storage, as you can see, I'm not using a sign-in account. If I click on select package, you'll still see the message that you need to sign in or sign up with the Google account first before you purchase. But nevertheless, the pricing on the Autodrive is now much more upfront and clear. As for some of the other changes, one of the biggest efforts since our last developer sync was laying the groundwork for accepting USDC or stablecoins as a payment option. As you all likely know, we launched Pay with AI3 a couple of months ago now, and it's been pretty successful. We see people that are purchasing the storage credits and for using the storage credits. But we still realize that one of the biggest unlocks for the users would be the introduction of stablecoin payments, because it would remove virtually any remaining friction. The research phase is now complete, and yeah, the groundwork is laid down, as I mentioned. So we started the implementation phase, and if you following the repo, you might even see that we have some some schema changes, some smart contracts already introduced. So the work there has already is already ongoing. Last but not the least, I wanted to touch on the files removal. And this feature has been available in the interface for a while, but now we've tightened up how deleting content is handled. You might ask, but AutoDrive is a permanent storage. Files cannot be removed. And you are completely right. AutoDrive is a permanent storage, and whenever it gets uploaded, goes directly into the Autonomous Networks blocks and Autonomous DSM. And once it's uploaded, it's stored forever, and it can be accessed forever. But the deletions we're talking about here are the soft deletions. So we don't actually remove the file from the DSM. That's impossible by design. But we do remove all the metadata, all the indexing pointers to the files, and all of its pieces. So as a result, this file no longer appears in the file explorer. It can no longer be retrieved by the API, the SDK, by the UI. So it essentially looks like the file is deleted whatsoever. Yeah, and I guess these are the main things that I wanted to touch on and highlight since our last developer sync. And now it's over back to you, Jim.
Thanks, Emil. So yeah, I just want to zoom out for a second. I mean, the bigger picture here is, we have a solid DSN. The protocol's working really great, and what we continue to do, this has been a theme for a while now, is we're trying to remove the friction to using that storage. So all these improvements to and usability improvements to AutoDrive, like being able to accept USDC, opens up another tranche of customers, of potential customers. Something I just wanted to touch on, the philosophy behind the deletes. Obviously, the DSN, you cannot remove items that are in our blockchain history here. But as we've been kind of looking at opening up the usage to multiple channels, the work I've been doing on S3, the work I've been doing with our clone, it's become apparent that we're kind of making a rod for our back by kind of dying on the immutability hill. So supporting those deletions unlocks other features, like you can kind of emulate moves. It unlocks other ways that people expect a storage network to work. Maybe not a DSN based immutable protocol, but as far as kind of what's expected from a legitimate storage network, deletions are something that they're baked into a number of workflows. Like I say, for moves, for example, as well as just I want to change the version of this file, for example. You can now do things like that. Yeah, and speaking of opening up additional channels, so Emil touched on this earlier. So we have updated, we have some agent skills, we have auto memory, and we have auto respawn. I'm not going to go too deeply into those. I feel like they're actually probably, they warrant their own dedicated session on what they do. But originally they were written for OpenClaw. We have just updated them so that they work for Hermes as well. We can see that, it's been coming for a while. Hermes is clearly gathering momentum in the kind of personal agent space. So yeah, we've updated that. It was mainly a metadata change, though when you submit a new skill or an updated version of a skill, you do get audited. So a couple of security audit nits were taken care of. Yeah, and we're looking for feedback. So if you're running OpenClaw, if you have your Hermes agent doing stuff for you, is very straightforward. You can ask your agent to install it, but we're very keen to get any feedback on kind of how the onboarding process works. And of course, remember that the free tier is 20 megabytes. And when you're just storing some text blobs, which is what auto memory boils down to in its default incarnation, the free tier is going to be more than enough. One other item, just kind of again almost admin. Speaking of S3, we have spun up s3.autodrive.autonomous.xyz. We did have it kind of hanging off of let's say it was public.mainnet.autonomous, which is a kind of an implementation detail leaking out. So we've tidied that up, and now S3 has its own dedicated domain. We still support the old one, so if you did jump straight in when we announced the S3 integration, or sorry, the S3 enhancements, you're absolutely fine to carry on using the old endpoint, but that has been updated. And that's it from me. We're going to hand you over to Ved. He's going to talk a bit of protocol.
Hey folks, thanks Jim. So on the protocol side, just been one important thing that we've been working on. If you've noticed, Nazar has been working on the Abundance project for the past couple of years, and you might have seen us pulling some of the performance updates, backports from Abundance project into Subspace because they benefit the core protocol itself. Now, in that direction, Nazar, so at the moment in Subspace, we have plotting that is specific. We give Subspace farmer builds based on the kind of GPUs that you want to run on, which is not so generic. Like as we have more and more, like we need to target those specific CUDA or OCM or anything that comes in with Apple M1 or M2. Now, the alternative approach that the Abundance takes is WGPU, which kind of like is a SDK for all these GPUs that can generate the basic compiler code to run on any GPUs out there. Like could be using their own standard platforms like Metal for Mac or Vulkan or anything for Windows. So we want to use that approach because WGPU has been actively being built, and we would benefit out of the performance as well, any changes that they make. And so we are actively trying to replace our existing GPU implementation and also the CPU implementation of Subspace proof of space plotting using the Abundance approach and see how that goes. So far, most of the efforts are there, and over the next coming days or so, we'll be doing an internal testing, see how everything is. Ideally, if everything goes well, users whenever it is released to Chronos or mainnet, you wouldn't even notice that it is running. Like ideally, maybe if you're running specifically for a specific build, you might see that build missing. So we'll have much less number of builds. We don't give out builds for like CUDA or OCM anymore. We'll just have one single GPU build that you can just download and run if and everything is out of the box. So that's mostly the focus. Beyond that, not a lot. So we'll keep you posted based on how things are going.
Thanks, Ved. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on a build to test that out, which is excellent. Okay, I think we've reached the end here. We've only got one comment. Hi there, nice stream. Hey, Tolga. Thank you for the compliment. We'll take that. And yeah, I guess with that, we can call it. As always, you can find us in Discord or on the forum, email, send a raven, however you want to. But of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Check out the links in the video, which are there before the call today. They're nearly always there afterwards. But yeah, comment down below and let us know what you think on today's topic, and keep building with Autonomous. Thanks very much, everyone. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.